race fans, to Oshwegan Speedway as Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet presents live racing action here at the Big O, night number 1 of our 2-night Midsummer Classic. It's going to be a great one here tonight with the NASCAR Pinty Series set to do battle in the FRESHSTONE Dirt Classic tonight. The Pinty's 100 tomorrow night. Practice/hot lap qualifying for the crate sprints just concluding right now. And already it's been interesting in qualifying. Greg Kellman along with Adam Ross. Clinton Jeffrey will join us in a little bit. But Adam, we saw the sprint cars out on the track to kick things off, and especially in the 360s, because we have the B feature in front of us. There's some huge names going to a B feature because of our format tonight.
Yeah, let's not jump ahead of ourselves, because we better explain how things are working. All these practice sessions, there were only, I think, 4 360s at a time, 6 to 7 crate sprints at a time, because they were time trialing. It was hot laps and time trials. So a number of cars have already transferred directly to the A main. It looks like the top 16 out of each go straight into the A main based on their best lap. The bottom 16 in the 360s and the bottom 21 in the crate sprints will be in the B main fighting for the final 8 transfer spots. Now we can get to the fact that we already know who's going to be in the B main for the 360s, because they finished their session a little bit earlier, and this could very well be the official results of tonight's A feature looking at this list.
Oh, it really could, with the likes of Dylan Westbrook, Glenn Stiers, Jessica Friesen, Paulie Colagiovanni, who won this event a year ago. Liam Martin is in there as well, Alex Hill. So some big names amongst the 16 going for only 8 spots. And now that leads us into NASCAR Pinty's practice number 1. First time on the racetrack since 1 year ago.
24 NASCAR Pinty Series cars in attendance. Their only opportunity to see the racetrack will be this 30-minute session. Bring up my timing and scoring. On the track right now, our most recent winner from the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières, the 96 GM Paillet Chevrolet. That's Marc-Antoine Cameron. Right behind him from St. Thomas, the Castrol Edge Super Clean number 17 Dodge of DJ Kennington. You'll be a fan of this one, Greg Callan. The 01 from Saint-Damas, Quebec. Modified legend David Hebert behind the wheel of the 01 machine. The 74 Napa Gates black, red, and white entry. That is Kevin Lacroix from Saint Eustache, Quebec. From Lachenay comes the 18 of Alex Tagliani. The St. Hubert NTN Genetec Quick sponsored mount. Our points leader in the Glenn Stiers Racing FBM Delta Bingo number 20. That's Trayton Lapsevich. The 19 Glenn Stiers Racing, identical paint scheme to Glenn Stiers. The 19 being driven by none other than Stuart Friesen from Sprakers, New York. 27 is Andrew Ranger in the GM Paillet sponsored Chevy. And the 22 from Fenton, Missouri, Kenny Schrader behind the APC Pennzoil 22 as Stuart Friesen goes around in turn 1.
Surprised it didn't happen a lap sooner. That car was wicked loose last time through corner number 1. So Stewart comes to a rest down in corner 1. Different ride this year, driving for the GSR team. David White, part of that. And this year it's Ken Schrader in the 22. That's the ride that Stewart almost won with last year in that last lap, that epic battle of he and Trayton Lapsevich.
I chatted with Pete Shepard Jr. earlier today. He's turning the wrenches on that 22 driven by Kenny Schrader, and he said, Kenny's jacked up. He is here to win tonight. He feels good. You can see it. He's ready to rumble, and sure enough, the fastest car on the track so far by 0.3 of a second is that 22 of Ken Schrader.
How big would that be for him? I think that would be a pretty big notch for him to walk away with a NASCAR Pinty Series win. Always a favorite. Who doesn't like Ken Schrader, right? Even for racers, he's a racer's racer, and you appreciate that in him, whether you were ever a fan of him or not, but just a likable guy, and good to see him there at the top of the board in the 22.
He's done it all in this sport. He's done it all with a lot of grace and dignity and a little bit of humor as well. The 3 machine out on track, that's Alex Gannett in the Asa Abloy number 3. Trying to chase down DJ Kennington in that 17 right now. I believe these are scheduled to be 10-lap sessions. I believe after 10 laps we'll see a yellow flag, but everybody working the outside right now. Do you know what the trouble is, Greg, with everybody working the outside right now?
Everybody's working the inside?
It's going to wear out the outside.
Well, that too.
You know, all of these heavy race cars, and we talked to a lot of these drivers today, and that's exactly what they said. It's a different racetrack almost every lap. And that's the thing about dirt racing, and we see Trayton Lapsevich using the line he had a lot of success with last year. Ken Schrader, I saw him running a similar line out there. David Hebert hasn't run a stock car on dirt since 2001 when he raced a pro stock.
Well, a few of those drivers, I think, are going to be happy to conclude that session and get into the pit area, make some adjustments. And one of those, there's the car we see on screen, Stuart Friesen. That was a handful for him during that session.
Yeah, down in the 9th spot right now, about a second off the pace. And it's all relative, so the fastest time doesn't matter. It wouldn't surprise me if nobody goes faster tonight than what Ken Schrader just did with a 20.4. Because the dirt track gets slower and slower as the night goes on. But it's all relative. Of the cars on the track at a given time, you want to be the fastest of all of them. Aaron Turkey behind the wheel of the Nitro 54, Sitting Bull Tire sponsored number 99. Brandon Watson out of Stayner, Ontario in that 9 machine. The WeatherTech 47 is LP Dumoulin. The Stacy family is here. Wallace Stacy and the Bullies Truck Stop number 66. Dexter Stacy and the Recap Recovery Drink number 92. 84 is Larry Jackson in the O'Neill Electric Dayco sponsored number 84. Glenn Steyer's behind the wheel of the 0. JP Bergeron in the 1 and his teammate Thomas Neveu in the Vibram number 24. And last but not least, Brewster Baker. Dave Bailey in the Transaxle 36.
Brandon Watson went around in corner 2, and then as he was trying to get back around nearly, took out the 47 of Dumoulin, and he made evasive actions to the outside, got around Watson. No harm, no foul, back under the green flag now. Here's the replay.
And you could see he hit the brakes a little bit hard. The nose bounced down on the ground. Around he went, kept on the throttle, and you're right, LP Dumoulin almost collected that. Aaron Turkey jumps up to P3 in that number 99, and now he loops it around and noses that car into the concrete on the inside. Dave Bailey up to the 6th spot. I think one of the game changers this year, Greg, is 2 nights of racing.
Yeah.
These drivers are going to learn their craft. They're going to figure out what they want. They're going to figure out what these cars are doing.
You come into this and you wonder, will there be patience in this one, knowing that there's a second event, or are racers just racers and they're going to throw it out all on the line here tonight? This animal, or this track rather, being such an animal for some of these drivers, we'll see how long the patience lasts. I think they'll play nice for the first while, but
there's not going to be any. These races pay $25,000 to win. That is 25,000 reasons for me to be impatient. Good to see David Swain out at the races, longtime supporter, and works with Mobile One, walking down in front of the grandstands. And Mrs. Swain. And this is what we've come to expect, is look at that pack. You know, nobody's really dominating. It doesn't look like anyone can get much of an advantage. But if you see 6 cars in a row, you're watching 6 different lines on the racetrack.
Stacy family was taking up a couple of those there for a while. They were going at it, trying to figure things out. Now Larry Jackson on the outside of the 66 of Wallace Stacy.
I believe the key, Greg, and I believe this last year as well, don't slow down too fast, don't speed up too fast. Maintain as much speed as you can, find that momentum. Watch the 84 Larry Jackson. He comes off the corner, no problem. There's 6 car lengths back to the 66. Then he picks up a car length or 2 going into the corner. And it's just that slow progression. If you can pick up a little bit on entry, a little bit through the middle, a little bit on exit, a lot of patience.
Bailey back behind the wheel again of one of these NASCAR Pinty Series rides here in 2023.
You see Glenn Stiers working to the outside of Thomas Neva in the 24. Venturing around the middle of the racetrack trying to find some speed. Larry Jackson is closed in on Dexter Stacy. He'll draw in on the back number of the 92. I've got to remember it's only practice. We're just calling practice.
Turkey out of this group remained the quickest, I do believe.
He did so right now it's still Kenny Schrader in the 22, the 20 of Trayton Lapsevich, Aaron Turkey in the 99, 17 DJ Kennington, 01 David Hebert, 36 Dave Bailey, 18 Alex Tagliani, 92 Dexter Stacy, 9 of Brandon Watson, and 27 of Andrew Ranger. That's what's so curious to me. After watching those sessions, I would not have guessed Brandon Watson was in the top 10. Though we haven't had we've had 23 cars across the straight so far. While Watson may have misstepped and spun that car out, he also had time to turn a great lap.
We have a white Chevy Impala CLFR 379. White Chevy Impala CLFR 379. You're parked by a fire hydrant. You must move it immediately. White Chevy Impala CLFR 379. Parked by a hydrant, please move it immediately.
Wow, this is a crowded practice session. Mike Gowdy is here in the 38 machine. Trevor Monahan from Hamilton runs the 4th. 31 is Daniel Bois. 98 is Malcolm Strong. I believe we've met the rest of the cast of characters, some of them out here for the second time.
Andrew Ranger, we've noted many a time last year the prowess of him and his family on dirt. His dad, a longtime modified racer. Robert and Andrew here last year had kind of an up and down night. He's out there with number 27 machine. There we ride along behind Kenny Schrader in the 22 quickest so far. There's Ranger in the 27. GM Paillet machine. As Stuart Friesen again, problems in corner one, and he's got his GSR partner up there with him in Monahan. As the 4 goes around, that will put us under the caution briefly here to get those two cars going in the right direction, but it's been a handful for Stuart Friesen so far in that number 19. And Monahan got collected in that. Never did make contact, but you see Monahan going again in that GSR number 4. And Stuart Friesen will take that 19 right to the pit area. As Abby, our drone pilot, flies along behind. We'll see Stewart go right to the trailer, and they'll have another look here what they can do. He's really struggling the handling of that number 19 here early on in this practice session. Looks like we should be able to come back to the green here in just a moment. Looks like DJ Kennington in this group may have picked up some speed. Did he bump ahead of Aaron Turkey?
He's up to the 3rd spot there in that 17. Alex Tagliani just making a pass on Marc-Antoine Cameron. He'll move down to the middle of the racetrack. So we're starting to see drivers come down off the cushion, because once they realize that you run out of banking up on the high side. So LP Dumoulin, as he said to us earlier on, they think they've brought a better package here this year in that 47 machine. Alex Gannett has made his appearance in the top 10. He's got the 10th quickest time so far. Not seeing a whole lot of people jumping around, because as we say on a dirt track, on pavement, you can expect people to get quicker and quicker. Dirt, the track slows down, not the drivers. David Hebert in the 5th spot in that 0-1 as Glenn Stiers goes around on the outside of the corner. The yellow flag is displayed. You can see some of these drivers were wanting to finish the hot lap that they were on. Now the field will check up, and let's have a look at this replay. It'll be off to the left of the screen. Oh, no, it won't. That's
Monahan.
Trevor Monahan going for a lengthy spin in that 4. We'll explain a little more about how the night's going to go. We've got this hot lap session for the Pinty Series. At 7 o'clock, we'll have our opening ceremonies. And then immediately following that at 7:10, it'll be the non-qualifiers race for the crate sprint cars, followed by the non-qualifiers race for the 360 sprints, also known as the B-mains, also known as the consies. And then it'll be the qualifying heats, 10-lap heats for the NASCAR Pinty Series, followed by the A-mains for the sprint car classes. And
oh, Tagliani goes around, and Hebert just missed it.
That was close. Culminating with the FRESHSTONE Dirt Classic. 3 stages, 25 laps, 25 laps, 50 laps tonight. That was the formula they used last year, and I think it made for an entertaining show, Greg.
I think so, it did. There were different storylines last year, and the stages played a part in that, and throughout the evening there were comers and goers, different people to watch, and at the end we couldn't have asked for a better race. And one guy that was up there hanging around, he never really was up in the lead, but hanging around was Ken Schrader, and I'll tell you, I've watched him some here in this practice session. I really like the look of his car. He's getting off the corner very, very well, especially in 2. And DJ Kennington, who's right behind him right now, he's kind of been going step for step and watching Kenny Schrader where he's going. Wouldn't be surprised if we see these two fighting towards the end of the night tonight for the win.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit. I believe both of them are hungry. And that makes a big difference. Not that they're not all hungry, but there's a difference. When you know, for DJ, you're down to the last 5 races of the year. You've only got 5 chances left to find victory lane. He's going to be up on it. You know, it's almost, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it's almost a wasted year if you don't find victory lane for someone who's used to winning as much as he's used to winning.
Schrader will take his car to the pit area. There's some drivers out there that just seem to be struggling, trying to find some sort of grip or handle or a line that's going to make their car run better. And here goes Dexter Stacy around the corner number 4.
Last year for me, that driver was LP Dumoulin.
Yeah.
He just never looked like he got the car underneath him. He never looked comfortable.
And we've seen a few spins here so far in this practice session, but if you'll go back a year ago, Adam, do you remember the first practice session? It was constant yellow flags. So there's been a lot learned, I think, through that first event.
If you don't spin out, how do you know the limits of your race car? Wallace Stacy coming back out. Drop down onto the banking in turn 4. Dave Bailey doing the same thing, and that car owned by Randy Slack, Bob Slack, Dave Jacobs involved in that effort. Going to watch a couple laps of Dave Bailey as Cameron gets up off the banking in 1 and 2, finds his way back onto the racetrack. Dexter Stacy going to go around again in turn 4. He does a full 360 and will keep on going. That'll keep the track under green. In my opinion, Dave Bailey should be about the most adaptable driver. I don't know that he'd be the fastest, but he should at least be able to recognize where there's going to be grip on the racetrack. So I'm going to watch him for a couple laps, see how he navigates the racetrack. He's up towards the outside. Trayton Lapsovich very slow around the bottom of the track right now in that 20 machine. So Dave Bailey about 0.6 of a second slower than the fastest lap that he's run, but to me that car looks very drivable for him.
That's Dave Bailey. He very seldom has a car that looks like it's out of shape. He finds his rhythm, and in a race like this where you've got 20 plus other drivers running a few laps and then having a little mishap here and there, the long game can help you when you've got a rhythm going and you know exactly how you can run lap after lap after lap on this dirt. That could help him here tonight.
Dog, you're 100% right as he makes that pass on Gowdy, and let's see if he can close in on that traffic ahead of him. I don't know how many laps remain in this session, but that's what we want to watch, right? See a driver get into traffic and they navigate through the traffic.
Jackson's been working at trying to get by Glenn Stiers. Larry looks pretty comfortable out there tonight as well. As we got 2 around again, Tagliani and Monahan up in 4.
Boy, Trevor Monahan, there's a driver who's there, Stuart Friesen around again in turn number 2. We remain under green. Nope, the yellow going to wave now. But Trevor Monahan, how many lives has this cat had when it comes to stock car racing? He ran a street stock, a Challenger, a super late model, a late model. I've seen him race in just about everything that there is to race.
Tagliani, Bergeron both to the pit area.
Schrader and Ranger back out onto the racetrack.
I don't think you're going to see that Stuart Friesen had fun in this practice. He's still fighting that car.
Yeah, let's watch that 19 for a lap or two. He's right out there behind Dave Bailey, and car kicks out sideways going in. He has to wait and wait and wait to get back to the throttle. So they're right behind the battle we're watching on screen between the 36 and the 3 machine.
Caught these two.
Whoa. Goes to the inside through the whoop-de-doos. There's one bump out there, and he found it.
He found it, boy. The thing with Stewart, though, he'll work and make that car work where it has to. And that's the nice thing with dirt racing. Your car may not necessarily be good in one line, but if you can find a line where it does suit it better, get more comfortable, if there's anyone that can get the most out of it, it'll be Stewart, that's for sure.
I think that's fair to say as we look at Kenny Schrader working over LP Dumoulin down the back stretch.
There's no loss of car control here. He looks very comfortable.
I was going to say, talk about a driver who hasn't turned a wheel wrong. LP, you sir, are going to school right now. Class is in session. And if I'm LP, I've got to be very happy with the car that I've brought to the track compared to what he had last year.
Yeah. Just in the final few minutes of NASCAR Pinty Series practice here on GeForce TV. And again, tonight we will have all the sprint car action for you, plus the qualifying heats for the NASCAR Pinty Series. But the FRESHSTONE Dirt Classic tonight, we will not have that on GeForce. You can go to Flow Racing or the TSN app. Malcolm Strong in the 98 tonight. He's wheeling that car pretty well, looks.
He's been impressive for someone who came into the series as not an oval racer. He's held his own.
And there's last year's winner, Trayton Lapsovich, again second quick so far in this one and only practice session for the Pinty Series.
Dave Bailey's found some bite down on the bottom of the racetrack in that 36. Now we'll pull back up in front of Alex Gannett. Gannett going to go right to the bottom. They'll run side by side off of turn 4, but I think Bailey has the preferred groove there as he gets some speed down off the banking. See if he can close in on Stuart Friesen. Remember, Friesen passed both of them and drove away in that 19.
Brandon Watson slow as there's one around. Marc-Antoine Cameron. Get things back going in the right direction.
You know, we watched LP Dumoulin, and I said it looked to me as though his car was running fairly well. He's not in the top 20 in times out of the 24 cars that are here.
But you know what? Come feature time, if it's a comfortable car, that's a whole lot more than a fast lap in practice. It really is, especially the way this track's going to change through all the sprint car racing as well. You got a comfortable car. Speed isn't necessarily what's going to win you the race here tonight.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And one thing we learned last year was the pack stayed together.
Yeah,
there wasn't
really
a lot of lap traffic. There's the man of the hour right there, Zigger Van Tile. He's the one that prepares this racetrack, and this track has been through a lot of changes this year. They made some changes over the off-season, significant changes. The track was rough for a couple of weeks. They got it better and better and better, but turn one was kind of the issue every week. There was a dip in turn one, but it seems to me, Greg, this is the best the track has been all year long.
Yeah, this is exactly the way we want to see it for the NASCAR Pinty Series, and it's going to create a different type of racing for the sprint cars than we might see on a regular Friday night, but it's still the racing we enjoy, and it's very similar to what we'll see at the Northern Sprint Car Nationals at the end of the year, where it's dry, slick, and horsepower, I mean, still means a lot, but it essentially comes down to setup and how finesse that driver can be with the throttle and working this car around the racetrack, and that produces some exciting racing. It doesn't always have to be all about grip.
No, or top speed.
Yep.
You only have to be faster than everybody else. As we have a look back at the warm-up track, the sprint cars are staged and ready to come out. Get this, folks. The NASCAR Pinty Series race tonight pays $25,000 to the winner. Sitting Bull Tire stepped up tonight and added $10,000 to the purse. So the 360 sprint car race is now going to pay $10,000 to win. The crate sprint car race is now going to pay $5,000 to win.
Wow. That's a big deal.
And that's for 25 laps. So the Pinty's race is $25,000 for 100 laps. The sprint car races are $10,000 and $5,000 respectively for 25 laps of hard work out there on the track.
It'll be a great night of action as final track prep going on and getting ready for opening ceremonies. And again tonight, no qualifying heats for the sprint cars. They did timed practice laps earlier on this afternoon, and that locked in the top 16 for both the 360 sprints and the Action Sprint Tour. And the rest will go to a B main, where in those B mains only 8 will transfer. And for the crate sprints, there's 21 cars in that B main fighting for 8 spots, and then the 360s have 16. So half the field there for the 360s will be done for the night at the end of the B main.
And now that we mention that, I don't think there is any opening ceremonies now. Because I believe any ceremony there's going to be is going to be immediately prior to the start of the FRESHSTONE Dirt Classic.
So we'll take a quick break here and be back with racing action from Oshwegan Speedway on G-Force TV.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. G-Force TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Oshwegan Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, G-Force TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at gforcetv.net and start watching today.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Busch Weekend Speedway Racing on GeForce TV is brought to you by Tiffany Gate. Indulge in a world of fresh meals, sides, salads, and more.
Back live at Busch Weekend Speedway on GeForce TV. Greg Kellman, Adam Ross joining us in a little bit. Clinton Jeffrey as we get ready for racing action for the first time tonight. We've seen practice, we've seen qualifying, and now it's time to see cars side by side doing battle. And Adam, how about this? You come to the track, you're in a race of 21 cars, and there's only 8 spots to go and race for all the big money. I mean, that's intensity instantly.
Well, I'll tell you, Greg, there's a lot of racing you can do right now where you never have to worry about this. You could buy a lot of race cars this week in Ontario, and you can go out and race every weekend, and it'll cost a fair bit of money, but racing costs money. You will never have to experience a B-main. That's not what we have here at Ohsweken. At Ohsweken, we have 35 cars trying to qualify for 24 spots. And I'll tell you, the feeling, for one, the nervousness, the anxiety of having to run this race is dreadful and exhilarating at the same time. That's what makes racing so cool for these drivers. It's a huge accomplishment. Whoever wins this race is going to start behind 16 cars that are faster than them in the feature. They don't stand a very good chance to win tonight. But the feeling of accomplishment they will get by going out and competing in this Consi. Somebody's going to win this B-main and be thrilled to get into the show. One of these top 8 is going to slip into the race and be so proud of themselves just for qualifying. One name that we passed over, Matthew Bargier down in the 10th spot. This cat has won everything there is to win in a crate sprint car. There's a lot of big names in this race, and they've got their work cut out for them.
And when you look at the list, the parity, especially in the crate sprints, it's so tight. From first to last, it's tight. And any of these drivers, I don't think there's one on this list where we wouldn't say, okay, of these 21, I could see them not making it through. Any of them. There's been great progress. There's so many of the drivers, and we've seen that in drivers like Ken Hamilton this year, where those that used to be at the back, it doesn't surprise you when they're running mid-pack or even challenging up in the top 10 now. So these drivers that go home in this, it's going to be a shock to them. It's going to be a shock to us, some of the drivers that go home as well.
Let's introduce you to the starting lineup for the Strickland's Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprints. On the pole at a Port Perry in the 4B, it's 4-barrel Daryl Peltier. Alongside him from Ancaster, the 16X is Keegan Baker. Starting third from Six Nations in the 20, it's the Iceman, Johnny Miller. Alongside him, the elder statesman of the crate sprint cars from Ohsweken, the 9C, is Brian Nanicoke. Fifth, he has finished on the podium, it seems like every race this year. Out of Georgetown, the 2M is Steve Murdoch. His outside from Ohsweken, the 28T is Cameron Thompson. Row 4 on the inside from Cherry Valley, the 9 is Adam Turner. Alongside him from St. Catharines, the 2S is Al Slate. 9th from Brantford, the 88 is Lance Erskine. 10th from Pierreville, Quebec, the 19 is Matthew Bardier. 11th from St. George, the 69K is Ken Hamilton. 12th from Ohsweken, the 77E is Ashton Van Every. 13th from Ridgeway, the 85C is Cam McKinnon. 14th from Ohsweken, the 420 is Jordan Hill. 15th from Ohsweken, the 99 is Joshua Hill. 16th from Waynfleet, the 72 is Tanner Podwinski. 17th from Picton, the 87 is Andrew Hennessy. And 18th from Woodstock, the 29W is Tyler Ward. 19th from Kitchener, the 2 is Travis Hofstetter. 20 making his debut, I believe, from Mount Hope, the 11W is Jeff Earl. Rounding out the field from St. Catharines, the 777A is Tyler Willard.
Driver that had issues during those timed hot laps earlier on this evening was Brett Stratford. He went for a ride down on 1 and 2. The rear end of that car broke, but he was up inside those transfer spots. In fact, 4th quickest in flight number 1. So he gets himself some extra time by making it into the 8th through his time before he had the issues. So a bit of fortune there in a time that was not so good for Brett Stratford.
No, so they're still in the back, thrashing to get that car ready. He's got 5,000 reasons to want to be on the line when this race goes green. We're about to go green for this 12-lap B main. 8 cars to transfer into tonight's main event.
First green flag of the night in the air from Dave Hunsinger, and we are underway as Keegan Baker will lead the pack down into corner number 1.
Baker out in front, Brian Nanicoke looking to follow. Oh, Cam Thompson hops the wheel on Darryl Peltier, keeps the car straight. Nice piece of driving by Cam Thompson there.
Beautiful save, and at this point he's got problems on the car, but just getting it up the high side of 4, I think we're going to see a caution. Yeah, that right rear is down. You see him slam the car with his hand in disgust, and not happy about that. But I know he's disappointed, but that was one whale of a save on the backstretch.
It was so. I've been so impressed with Cam Thompson this year. He's driven a Thunder stock, a Bone stock, and watch this coming off of turn number 2, that yellow 28. Woo, he's lucky he didn't land in the bleachers.
Yeah.
I think he just got better bite than he expected to get with that 28. So watch this. It's the 4th car in line. It's about to jump right into your oof.
The tire down at that point with the impact with the wall. You can see it on that replay as he went by the wall camera.
If he's lucky, it's just a flat right rear tire.
There's a pretty hefty smuck on the wall, so you wonder about the rear end. But
so Jackson, our camera operator, is back there giving us a great look at the right rear corner. I didn't see if Clinton was there with him.
Well, Jack's down there. I haven't seen Clinton. Gotta get Jack a microphone.
For sure. Cam Thompson, just his body language tells you he's not impressed. And the fact that he's out of that car tells me he doesn't think it's something they could fix in a hurry and get ready. The good news is there's another show tomorrow night. It has nothing to do with tonight's race. And no matter what happens tonight, it's a fresh start for night 2. Hopefully the rear end's not damaged out of that race car, but you can see that Hoosier doesn't keep air anymore.
Nope. A hard lick, and well, just the landing from the air he caught as well had to be, it rattle your teeth inside that helmet with the landing that he made, and then smacks the wall. But a great save just to keep it up high, and that could have been a mess down the backstretch in a hurry.
Car going to be taken back to the pit area. It is a crowded pit area here tonight.
Now just 3 divisions, but boy, oh boy, it's to the max.
24 Pinty Series cars, 32 360 sprint cars, and the crate-powered sprint cars, there's 35 of them. In fact, I believe this is the first race event we've had this season on the big track, with the exception of the motorcycle Saturday night where we had less than 100 cars in the pits.
Yeah, that Memorial night we had just the 3 divisions, and you had 108 cars that night. As the white flag's out, everyone's single file and ready to come back to the green flag with 1 on the board. 11 left to settle it here. Top 8 to the A main. The rest will sit in the bleachers.
Some pretty good cars outside of that top 8 right now. I think a slick track like this might lend itself to that 77, that black and yellow car of Ashton Van Every.
Yeah. It's a long ways back right now, but if there's a driver there that can pedal his way up, definitely Ashton Van Every. Tanner Podwinski as well. You know, one of those modified drivers that might be able to get his way up through there. And now Steve Murdoch has problems on the backstretch. Keeps the car going straight. He slides all the way up about corner 4.
Steve Murdoch's been one to watch all year long, lots of speed. Ashton Van Every has already passed 4 cars just that lap alone in the 77 machine. Further up, Johnny Miller, the Iceman, making tracks in the 20 machine, working the inside for that 4th position with Darryl Peltier.
Contact between the two down in 3 and 4. Johnny Miller came close to the wall down in corner number 1. 4-barrel Darryl around to his outside has 4th. Murdoch's got it wound up on the outside. He'll make it a 3-car fight.
I've still got one eye on Van Every back there. He is making moves. We've got a problem for one. Tanner Podwinski out there forces Travis Hofstetter to go high to avoid him. Tanner Podwinski going to try to limp that 72 back to safety.
All Keegan Baker out front right now. In the 16X, he's beginning to see the tail end of the field. Brian Anacote second, and Johnny Miller continues to move forward. The Iceman cometh. Here he is.
Ashton Van Every cracking that top 10 in the 77 machine. He's on the outside of Hill in the 99, looking to get around Jordan Hill as well, as we've got one around. That's Ken Hamilton, and hard into the bales goes Cam McKinnon in the 85C.
Pretty hard lick there for Cam McKinnon as he hits the bales on the outside of corner number 4. He really had nowhere to go. Oh, he's in the muck. There's a lot of water up there.
Oh, I thought he was leaning down in the seat. Like there's a body language when a driver's might not be okay. I thought that was it, but it was just the way his visor was sitting on his helmet, thankfully. After the races the other night, the Turners had a corn roast, Greg. So I went back there and socialized a little bit. And Ashton Van Every, who has never not had a smile on his face, and this is going to be terrible because you'll think that he set this up. He says, "You guys don't talk about me much this year." Clinton Jeffries on the scene. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Adam. Yeah, a bit muddy over here for Cam McKinnon. This is where the water seemed to pool up, and you can see even the safety crew trying to keep their feet wet. They all got soakers, and we're going to have to get him out of here. McKinnon climbing up out of the muck. He's all right under his own power. We'll give him a tow and see what the story is, guys.
Thanks so much, Clinton. But Ashton Van Every says, "You guys don't talk about me that much this year." And I said, "Oh," he says, "You know what? We try to. You know, you can try to talk about everybody." I said, "Force us to talk about you." So I thought, okay, I'm going to, at the very least, I'm going to pay attention to what he does here tonight. And sure enough, he's passed more cars than anybody out there on the racetrack. So good job, Ashton Van Every. That's how you get talked about. And tomorrow night, we're going to give away some T-shirts of Ashton's. It would have been tonight if I stopped by his collar. He was giving away Ashton Van Every shirts. I believe Connor grabbed one for me because he gets 3XLs. I'll support that.
Well, for some of the drivers towards the back, the field thinning a little bit here, lap by lap, but already 6 down and only 6 laps left to go, and 8 transfer spots with the white flag being displayed. So for drivers like Ashton Van Every and such, it's time to get on it. It's time to move if you're going to make it in tonight's A-Main.
The driver has got to be nervous right now is Matthew Barbier in that 19. He's one of the top runners in the crate sprint cars, comes to us from Quebec, and he holds down that last transfer. He's not been able to advance. We've seen Lance Erskine in the 88 right behind him have some great runs this year. You've got the veteran Jordan Hill right behind him. Slow to the restart comes Keegan Baker, jumps on the loud pedal in the cargo ease restart zone. We're back to business.
Johnny Miller right back down to the bottom. He'll continue his charge on Brian Anacote with Steve Murdoch to the outside of him. And now we'll put Miller into the second spot for the moment. That car's been marching towards the front.
Jordan Hill went up to the middle of the racetrack in that 420. Ashton Van Every to the extreme outside. Joshua Hill in the 99 going to keep that car on the bottom, but we've got all sorts of activity just behind the final transfer. Here comes Jordan Hill up the inside.
Keegan Baker, Johnny Miller, Murdoch, and Anacote to top 4. Then it's Peltier, Slate, and then the number 9 machine of Adam Turner. And Lance Erskine trying to punch his way into the A-Main.
Lance Erskine just took over that 8th position.
Oh, caution. Hamilton around in 1.
Ooh, boy. Ken Hamilton, that 69K, much improved over last year. But this is a challenging racetrack tonight. It's smooth, it is slick, it is dry. It's going to be hard to hook these cars up.
Guys, just want to remind everybody, this is being filmed for TSN Series, the Canadian Dirt Tour. So the first time our sprint cars have ever been on the big deal, on the big network here on TSN. So super proud to do that. This is a big race, Adam and Greg, as you guys know. Just a quick program note, we are in full hustle mode. We have decided to cut out a lot of our pre-race stuff to try and work to get the Pinty Series 100 in tonight. We're going to be in full hustle mode. We're going to get this whole race in tonight, guys.
There were plenty of pre-race meetings to discuss all the possibilities, the potential for weather being on the way, and number one is to get these races in. So we know Clinton Jeffrey, Doug Leonard, Glenn Stiers, all the management here, all the many people, Greg, that are more important than us, which is basically everybody. One to go, Keegan Baker super slow last time to the cargo ease restart zone. He'll bring him down to the green flag. Johnny Miller in that 20 machine has moved up to 2nd. Steve Murdoch, 3rd place. That's where that car runs best, is 3rd position.
Yeah, it does. He's been there a number of times in Quick Firestarter victory lane, sitting in that 3rd spot. And right now, it's a comfortable spot to be for him, as that would get him into the A main with just 4 laps left to go. Slate makes a move on Peltier. That makes it 3 wide. Meanwhile, at the front, Miller challenging for the lead.
Oh, one into the wall on the backstretch. Not sure who it was, but things were getting wild down the 7th and 8th spot. Adam Turner hangs on to 7th right now. Lance Erskine 8th, but Matthew Bardier has gone up the hill looking for racing room on the top side of the track.
Yeah, Bardier is digging, trying everything he can to get by that 88 of Lance Erskine, and he is going to cook it into corner number 3 and lose ground. Is now the bottom. Is Adam Turner in the 9.
Down through 1 and 2, Johnny Miller out in front. Steve Murdoch up to that 2nd spot. Side by side go Adam Turner and Matthew Bardier off at 2. Turner will edge out in front into 3.
One more lap around for the leaders as Murdoch has moved into the 2nd spot. And this fight for the final transfer spot is long from over as they go through 1 and 2 the final time.
Down the back straightaway the last time, Johnny Miller down low. Steve Murdoch up to the high side. Here's who's going to make it to the A. Miller, Murdoch, Baker, Slate, Peltier, Nanakoke, Erskine, and Adam Turner.
Wow. Matthew Bardier will not transfer.
Valiant effort by Joshua Hill in the 99, Matthew Bardier in the 19, Ashton Van Every, Jordan Hill, Tyler Willard, Tyler Ward, Travis Hofstetter. But they'll have to watch tonight's A-main.
It's a hard one to swallow for a number of these drivers. And now we're going to see it happen all over again for the 360 sprints. And again, this program tonight for both sprint car divisions brought to you by Sit-N Bull Tires. Want to thank them for their support and the extra cash going into the purse here this evening for both divisions. And now we got some heavy hitters in this B main for the 360 sprints. 16 cars, only 8 will transfer. Starting on the pole, it's the Oshwegan Flyer, Glenn Stiers in car number 0 to his outside. D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook out of Scotland, the 47X. Starting in 3rd from Hamilton, the 19D, that'll be Alan Downey. And rolling off 4th out of Grimsby, car number 90, that is Travis Cunningham. Starting in 5th from Sprakers, New York, the 67, that's Jessica Friesen. Alongside her from Brantford in the 49L, it's Lucas Smith. Starting in 7th out of Brewerton, New York, car number 10C, it's Polly Colagiovanni. And in the 8th spot from Oshwegan, the 16, Aaron Turkey. Rolling off 9th out of Oshwegan, the 77T, that's Tyler Paulus. And going off 10th out of Caister Center, the 11th. That's Jamie Turner. Starting at 11th from Binbrook, car number 9, the live wire, Liam Martin. And going from the 12th spot from Mississauga, the 70mm, the highlight man, Mac Demand, back behind the wheel of a 360 Sprint. Starting 13th out of St. Catharines, the 46, that is Kevin Pauls. Alex Hill, Six Nations in the 77X, will start in the 14th spot. 15th position from St. Williams, the 21 of John Burbridge Jr. Ryan Conium from Burlington, the 46C, starts 16th. So again, 16 cars, 8 to transfer here for the 360 Sprint cars.
Once again, last chance qualifier, the only opportunity to get in the show. Dave Hunsinger said the same thing, Greg. He says it's quiet out there. Are we turned down lower than normal?
Maybe it's on purpose. They're going to just phase us out.
Well,
I have no control over any volume.
I thought we were doing a good enough job of that ourselves. 12 laps will be the distance in this B main. Boy, oh boy, there's some big-time race winners in this event, working their way through 3 and 4.
Green flag is out, and off they go. Top 8, trying to find a way into the dance, and Jessica Friesen, boy, she got sideways down in number 1. That bottlenecks the back half of the field.
Yeah, Glenn's Tires did the same thing, really had that car sideways. Dylan Westbrook jumps out in front. Once again, we'll send our focus back around the 8th spot, which right now is Aaron Turkey in the 68. Right behind him is Tyler Powles in the 77 with Liam Martin in the 9.
And remember, Liam Martin coming into tonight amongst the point leaders here at Oswego Speedway on a Friday night. He's been right in the thick of it, has a feature win this year, and sits in the 3rd spot coming into tonight right now, not in the transfer spot.
This will be tough sledding, a slick technical track as Powles drives up the inside of Aaron Turkey. Remember, Kevin Lovey's turning wrenches on that 77 machine.
Tyler gets better and better every week. Right behind him, Turkey and Martin sliding around, fighting it out, trying to find some way to get into the big dance. Right now, it's all Dylan Westbrook out front over Glenn Stires, Lucas Smith, and the 19 of Alan Downey.
That's your top 4, 5th through 8th. Cola Giovanni, Travis Cunningham, Jessica Friesen, and Tyler Powles. But right behind them, a couple of young lions and Aaron Turkey and Liam Martin.
Aaron down on Tyler Powles, and Liam Martin knows it's go time. He's got to get around the 77T. He's got a good run this time off of corner number 2. He'll use all the real estate possible and gets around for the moment, but Tyler Powles not giving that back.
Martin up on the high side, right up against the wall, which is what we're used to seeing him do. Jessica Friesen comes up off the bottom just a little bit. She's going to give up that 7th spot. No, she's not. Liam Martin closes the door down into 3 and 4 and goes for a long slide across the racetrack.
Tell you what, Liam Martin's finding lots of speed up there on that very outside line, but that is the razor's edge. And it can be fast, but it can bite you in a hurry, and you can lose all that track position in one turn.
Sure can. And he's going to keep it up there and work on Travis Cunningham and that number 90. Cunningham running the bottom in that black 90 with the silver wing. Liam Martin going into the corner on the bottom, sliding all the way up the racetrack, and boy, he almost ran out of real estate. Oh, Friesen goes around at the entry of turn number 3. That's going to draw a yellow.
Getting a report, she may have hit the wall down at 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, the front end is destroyed.
Guys, down here you can see, yes, and it was the wall that got the 67 right there. And we'll wait till Jack gets up here, but yeah, there it is, guys. This rim is damaged here. She clipped the inside wall, and that'll be the end of the night for Jessica Friesen tonight. Tough break for this Hills Racing team. They were working hard. She was in the show, but will not make it tonight.
You know, Jessica Friesen, a former winner of the Sprint Car Nationals, as we have a look. Sort of, kind of. No, she had already gone by there, I believe. As we look at a replay where she clipped the inside wall, she doesn't run sprint cars anymore. It has been a long time. She does some modified racing these days.
Well, she got right back to it and was in a transfer spot at the time, so looked pretty sporty out there in the first opening laps of this one.
If you haven't been keeping up with things at Ohsweken Speedway this year, we've got the choose cone for 360 sprint cars. So that is going to come into play. It really hasn't done much. Have we seen anybody pick up a lot of track position from it?
No, I don't think so. You just summed it up, basically. We haven't seen a lot out of it. You really built it up and then kind of pulled the rug out. Called it for what it's been so far this year, but it is what it is, right? There's going to be nights where the track's going to change, and there will be a night where it's going to be a big deal. And drivers are going to say, no, I want the bottom, or I want the top. And so far here in 2023, it's been you either want the extreme bottom or you want the extreme top, and it's one or the other, and you're comfortable where you are. And it really hasn't come into a play here so far, and they're going to get a chance to go by, and already Glenn Stiers is saying, okay, I want that outside.
Front 2 rows going to stay just the way they are. The front 3 rows, the front 4 rows. This is riveting. But what it was, the reason being, they went to double file restarts. Yep. So in order to make a bit of a concession, say, look, we're going to go to double file restarts, but you're going to have the choice whether you want to start inside or outside.
And on a track like this, it's just plain and simple track position.
Keep your eyes focused on that number 90 of Travis Cunningham, the 77 of Tyler Pavlis, right behind them. Outside of a transfer position, the 46 of Kevin Pauls and the 68 of Aaron Turkey.
As Burbridge, McDeman, Alex Hill, and Jamie Turner all looking to squeak in there somehow. As Tyler Pavlis, who was in a transfer spot, has problems. Gets the car back on track, but he gave up all those spots.
Not sure what happened there, but that was not good for Pavlis. Liam Martin just slid Glenn Stiers. I thought Stiers might slide him back just out of principle, but he did not. Look at McDeman making a late race charge in that 70mm, normally driven by Dave McKnight. Yeah. He wants the spot in the dance.
The highlight man found something here in these closing laps as the white flag is out. It's been all Dylan Westbrook, and now just as quick as McDeman made ground up, he just gave some back.
That's the battle for the transfer back there as Kevin Pauls makes some contact with Alex Hill in turn number 2. Dylan Westbrook going to take the win.
Glenn Stiers second, Martin third, fourth at the line is Smith over Cola Giovanni. Then it's Travis Cunningham, Alan Downey, and Kevin Pauls across the line.
Kevin Pauls just drove his way into a transfer spot. And as we said, folks, there are people who just want to survive this B main. They don't belong in it. Dylan Westbrook, Cola Giovanni. Kevin Pauls just drove the race of his career, and it was a B main here tonight to qualify for the feature event. Hats off to Kevin Pauls in that body line 46.
Great job by Kevin Pauls. Wow. Races his way into the top 8, and that will lock the field for tonight's sprint car events. A little bit later on, 25 laps for the Action Sprint Tour, 25 laps for the 360 sprints, all brought to you by Sit & Bull Tires. The Sit & Bull Tires Shootout, want to thank them for their support of this event. As we get ready, qualifying heats are on deck for the NASCAR Pinty Series. Looks like we'll have time for a quick break. When we come back, we'll go to those qualifying heats here at Ohsweken Speedway on GeForce TV.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Quick perfected fire. Quick Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
When your dream car becomes a nightmare, leaving you frustrated, stranded, and broke, you say,
"Goodbye, you piece of Let's take it to TKC."
What? You gotta pee?
TKC!
Let's take this piece of to TKC Metal Recycling. They pay cash for scrap cars.
Yahoo!
TKC will recycle your piece of car. Got a piece of car? Visit TKC Metal Recycling, 20 Cushman Road, St. Catharines.
It all started for us at the racetrack, from dirt to water. We have continued to keep the adrenaline and drive to make sure that we are always in the forefront. We are driven to give our customers the absolute best in service, products, and memories with your family. No matter what your passion is, whether it's on the water, in the dirt, on the snow, or on the road, we will always be here welcoming you over and over again through the doors here at Lockhart's. You're not just a customer here, you are part of our team.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
Weekend Speedway Racing on GeForce TV is brought to you by Pinty's, making great food fun. And by Quick Wick, the world's best fire starter.
Welcome back to Ohsweken Speedway, where it is about time to go NASCAR racing. NASCAR Pinty Series with a couple of heat races coming up. 24 cars in attendance, all 24 will start tonight's main event. 100 laps is the distance in the FRESHSTONE Dirt Classic. It'll be 3 stages. Even though there's no stage points in the series, they'll go 25 laps to a break, another 25, and then 50. And then we've got Clinton Jeffrey right now, trackside for a Case IH track report.
Thanks, Adam. The whole track looks in fantastic shape tonight, except turn one. I mean, it's been the scourge for us all year. Looks really good. I'm going to show you a couple key spots here. Right here, we've got it starting to open up a bit, so we're going to bring out the steamroller here, roll this a little bit before the 3 NASCAR heats, and try and pack this down so it doesn't continue to break up like this and come apart. We'll push it all in, and these chunks will continue to not build a hole, and we'll put it all back in there. Zigger will pump it down. One other thing, don't get run over by the steamroller there, Jack. And this hump right here that he's working on, you can see how soft it is right here as the roller goes over it. We got one little bunny hump here we're working on, but they'll roll this for about 3 minutes and we should be in good shape. A couple other spots over here starting to open up, but guys, the big problem we had last year was, or last week and the week before, was right here on the bottom. It looks like we've got this cured up. But Jack, just look at the steamroller there, how it rolls over this hump and how soft this part of the track still is, guys. It's been a bit of an issue, but we want to make sure we have the best track we can give these NASCAR teams.
And you know, it's choose your own adventure, right, Clinton? You can live with what you've got and tweak it week after week, or you can dig it up and keep working it. But whenever you dig up the racetrack, it's going to be a little bit soft as much as you try to work it in. So they've made huge advances. I think you don't ever want to say good enough, Clinton, but that is a racy track out there. We saw that in our 2 B mains for sprint cars.
I would say it's night and day over what it's been. Jack, turn around and focus up here. We do have, Adam, 2, 3 solid lanes right up here to the top. If you look at his pool table smooth from the start to the finish. So only the drivers trying to get really down there, dig through the middle, and get right on the bottom are the ones that might have problems tonight. But our track crew have been done amazing work in the past 3 weeks, and they'll continue to do it tonight.
They always do. It's a hard-working group. And again, they won't be too long doing that work, and then it'll be time for our NASCAR Pinty Series heat races. 3 heat races, 8 cars in each. 10 laps will be the distance for these heat races. And one thing we saw in practice earlier on, different drivers were using different lines, but there was a lot of options for them, and that's all you can hope for, is give them a lot of racetrack to work with. The rest is up to them. We've just been handed the starting lineup for tonight's sprint car feature events. I should have asked if these were lined up fastest cars to the front or if it was done on a redraw basis. I could find that out, I'm sure, by looking at our results. See the Strickland's GMC pace truck coming over the edge in turn number 3, and here come our NASCAR drivers. 10 laps, 8 cars. And here is how they're going to line up. On the pole out of Fenton, Missouri, the APC Auto Parts Center's Pennzoil Federated Auto Parts number 22, it's Kenny Schrader. Alongside out of Oswego, the Nitro 54 variety Sitting Bull Tire Ford number 99, Aaron Turkey. Third from Lachine, Quebec, the St. Hubert NTN Quick Genetec Chevrolet number 18, Alex Tagliani. To his outside from Terrebonne, Quebec, the Assa Abloy Fast Eddie HGC Chevrolet number 3, Alex Gannett. Row 3 on the inside from Oakville, driving the number 84 O'Neill Electric Milwaukee Wonderbred Castrol Dodge, it's Larry Jackson. To his outside from Sprakers, New York, driving the Glenn Stiers Racing number 19, it's Stuart Friesen. Starting 7th from turn number 2, driving the Glenn Stiers Racing number 0, it's Glenn Stiers. And rounding out the field out of Bracebridge, driving the 31 Sierra Excavating A&G the Road Cleaners Chevrolet, it's Daniel Bois. Green flag is out of turn number 4.
Off they go into corner 1 for the first time in this first qualifying heat. And it's all Ken Schrader. And in practice earlier on this afternoon, quickest car, and he was smooth and steady all the way. So we'll keep an eye on him. The driver that had the biggest handful was Stuart Friesen in the 19, but he's already trying to make moves.
You know, he had his hands full, but by the end of the session, he was making passes, using the bottom of the racetrack to make gains, but out in front, Ken Schrader is doing what Ken Schrader does as Larry Jackson goes around in turn number 2. He'll get that car pointed in the right direction, but he has come to rest on the exit of the corner. And that will force us to go yellow.
Larry had a comfortable looking car in the practice session. Never really saw him get too out of shape. And that was the first really had seen that out of that 84 car. See a replay here.
The pressure is on. Goes into the middle and he just hit that bump.
Yeah.
The bump they've just been working on, and the back end came around a little bit on that O'Neill Electric 84. There's going to be a lot of moments tonight, most likely, where these drivers really appreciate that there's no outside wall in the corners.
There's lots of room for error here.
But how about Kenny Schrader? That car has just been pointed in the right direction all night long. He's been able to find the speed, even coming to the start of that race. He left Aaron Turkey behind. He just found the grip.
You look at last year, and I don't think through the qualifying heats or practice, any of that, that we felt like there was a car that was the car. But after practice, and like you say, the way he took off of the corner, that car just looks like it is the one to beat tonight. It definitely is. And Ken Schrader, of course, a legend. Many a laps and multiple racing surfaces. And he's got the car that finished second place in this race last year.
So the Strickland's pace truck slow down the back straightaway, will peel off to the infield. Leave this heat in the hands of Ken Schrader and Alex Tagliani. 1 lap complete of the scheduled 10-lap distance.
Back they go under the green flag. Schrader on the bottom, Tagliani had a bit of a run on the outside, but Ken Schrader shuts the door there. Now Larry Jackson goes around again, this time in corner number 2, and narrowly misses the wall.
I'll be surprised if he stays there and calls a yellow. I think Larry will put the hammer down and get going. No, maybe not.
Back under the caution flag again for Larry Jackson. The field hasn't slowed down.
Aaron Turkey was just Superman for a moment there.
Yeah, we'll have a look at this. This time the rear end just kicks around. No bump that time.
It's a humbling sport, this sport.
And it was about an hour ago that the NASCAR Pinty Series took to the track for their half-hour practice session. But since then, you've had the 2 B mains for the sprint cars, and that changes the track. The track changes lap by lap, a little less race by race. So from where Larry Jackson was in that practice session to now, it's changed within an hour.
And it'll change again. NASCAR officials doing a good job keeping things rolling. The 1-to-go signal is given. The field will double up. Now Tagliani went way up the racetrack, and it looked to me as though Ken Schrader waited until the green flag flew. He doesn't have to wait until the green comes out. He can set the green flag. Although the restart position is well out of the corner. There's 2 pylons in the front straightaway fence. One is about 40 feet past the first hay bale on turn 4. And then you've got about 7 fence posts to the next one. He can choose to fire anywhere between those 2 lines. Tagliani hanging back just a little bit. They work towards the start-finish line. Green flag is out once again.
Watch what Schrader does. Last time he came right up, and he does the same thing again. Impedes the progress of Tagliani going into the second corner and keeps that lead.
He's consistent. He goes in with a purpose. He'll lead the way off of turn number 4. They're 3 wide for third. Behind them, Daniel Bois on that 31 going to take the spot. Bois started at the back of this field in that 31 machine, doing a nice job battling alongside Stuart Friesen in the GSR number 19. Runs a little bit shorter racetrack on the backstretch.
Friesen has worked his way up to the 3rd spot as Aaron Turkey has had some struggles and has begun to drop through the field just a little bit here. So Friesen up to 3rd, and Daniel Bois done a nice job. Started last in that 4th position in that 31 machine right behind Friesen.
Down through 3 and 4, everybody single file. And Ken Schrader running a lower line on the track. Schrader and Tagliani in 3 and 4 running a little bit lower. Now we'll head to the outside in 1 and 2. Pretty much everybody out there on the outside. Tagliani dropping down to the bottom at the exit of turn 2. Schrader's trying every line.
He really is, and it seems like that car is hooked up in almost every line. You don't see the car kick out at all. But he is his strongest, and I think he was throughout practice. From here on out of corner number 2, he just takes off there.
And I'll tell you, regardless of the line he chooses to run, that 22 car is staying straighter than any car on the track. Watch that 22 When you think of a dirt car, you think of a car getting thrown into the corner. He is keeping that car as square as possible.
See what he does this time in 3 and 4. Last time he tucked all the way down to the inside of corner number 4. This time kind of middle of the groove. White flag is out. He's searching around, and now Glenn Stiers is going to go around at corner number 4. We'll see if he'll get that refired before the leaders come around.
And he does. Gets the car pointed in the right direction. Now he's got to lift a little bit because of the tire spin. Checkered flag in the air off of turn number 4. Kenny Schrader going to win heat race number 1. Tagliani for second. Stuart Friesen third. Fourth will go to Daniel Bois. Fifth to Gannett. Sixth to Aaron Turkey. Larry Jackson going to come home second. And eighth will be Glenn Stiers. Stiers makes it across the stripe.
Well, we go from the car that was second place last year, this year has Ken Schrader behind the wheel, to the car that won it last year. Trayton Lapsevich here in this next qualifier.
Out of Grimsby, Ontario, that Glenn Stiers Racing, Delta Bingo, and gave me FBM sponsored number 20 of Trayton Lapsevich. Looks like he's going to start second on the outside of row number 1 on the inside. And the GM Paillet number 01 Chevrolet out of St. Damas, Quebec. That is David Hebert. Third from Ganawaki, Quebec. The recap recovery drink number 92 is Dexter Stacy. And to his outside from Roxton Pond, Quebec, the GM Paillet number 27 is Andrew Ranger. Starting fifth from St. Donat de Montcalm, Quebec. The Prolong Controls Russo Metal Forge number 1. It's J.P. Bergeron. And to his outside from Oka, Quebec, the Aviram Home Hardware Ford number 24 of Thomas Neveu. Now to our final row from Hamilton, the Glenn Stiers Racing Solo Performance Exhaust Halnor Mechanical Dodge number 4. It's Trevor Monahan. And to his outside from Muskoka, the Muskoka Mod Center, Muskoka Aircraft Chevrolet number 38, Michael Gowdy. There's your cast of characters for heat race number 2.
A wild card in the mix here in that 01, Adam. The guy that has all the laps on dirt in the modifieds, although it's been since 2001 since he was in a stock car and a pro stock, David Hebert in the 01. We don't know what to expect. He wasn't here last year, but he's got a quick car.
Tell you what I like about him. He is so relaxed. He is just here to have a good time. Talk to him before the race. Green flag is out, and they are underway. Hebert with all sorts of wheel spin in that 01. That'll allow Lapsevich to sneak out front.
Down the hill he goes, down the back stretch in that 20 machine, and here comes Neveu in the back there, trying to make it 3 wide already in corner number 3.
He had a head of steam going off at turn number 2. He's going to do it again in 3 and 4, right up to the driver's door of the 27 Andrew Ranger. They'll squeeze 3 wide down the front stretch. He thinks better and backs out. Boy, is he getting a great drive through the center of the corner.
Hebert trying to hold on. That 01 all the way down the backstretch was about half sideways as he's got that GM Paillet 01 machine kicking it off the corner there. He's got a handful. Ranger, meanwhile, on the outside will clear him down the front stretch.
And this is where you've got to temper yourself as a racer. How much fun is this if you're Thomas Neveu and Trevor Monahan to get in here? These heats don't pay. It does determine the starting order for the feature event, but you've also got to remember you've got lots of laps to run over the next 2 nights as Trevor Monahan looks to the inside in that 4.
What a battle through this race, other than the battle for first. As Ranger goes up the hill, loses a spot. Here comes Monahan from the back up to the 2nd spot.
Michael Gowdy into the wall off of turn number 2. Trevor Monahan up to the 2nd position. Now Thomas Neveu takes his turn to the inside. Contact off of turn number 4 keeps them all pointed in the right direction.
These guys know they're all in the field tonight for the 100 lapper, right?
Like I said, racer's pride comes into play. They're 4 wide through turn 2 was J.P. Bergeron to the inside. What a battle in this heat, Trayton. You're missing a hell of a race.
Halfway home for Trayton Lapsevich. And the crews on these teams in the pit area have to just be sitting on pins and needles right now. How much work will they have to do if they wad up?
David Hebert, 3 kinds of sideways in turn number 1. Whoever sells fiberglass is back there rubbing his hands together, booking a trip to the islands.
Bergeron now. Here comes Monahan through the middle. He's going to push Hebert out of the way. He didn't physically push him, but he left him no room coming out of 4.
Oh, boy. Monahan and J.P. Bergeron make contact going into turn number 1. And J.P. Bergeron pointed the wrong way. That'll bring out the yellow. Holy
They're
moly.
still racing.
They should go back to the last completed lap. You see Monahan pitches the car into the turn, but once you get the left front of your car onto the right rear of Bergeron, Bergeron can't send his car into turn 1. And man, we got that from multiple cameras.
Yeah, Monahan hit the wall before he came down into Bergeron.
How else was he going to keep it on the racetrack?
Of all the drivers so far, Trevor was probably the one handling his car most like a Thunderstock that we would see on a regular Friday night.
And what did Trevor do last Friday night?
Yeah, exactly.
He raced a Thunderstock here at Ohsweken.
Good point.
So Trayton Lapsevich looks like he's going to elect to restart on the high side. That'll put Thomas Neveu down low in the 24. But how can you not be impressed by this young man from Oka, Quebec? It's his rookie season. Looking anything but a rookie right now. That car prepared out of the Dave Jacobs stable, same as the number 1 Russo Metals sponsored entry of J.P. Bergeron. Andrew Ranger, that car just looks like it's got a nasty push going into the corner. Once he gets it set, he's able to wheel it through the turn. Does anybody have anything for Trayton Lapsevich in that 20 machine? We're about to find out. Look at Neveu just rocking that car.
He's been impressive in this qualifying heat. It's been all Trayton Lapsevich. Where's Ranger going?
Green flag is out on the ugliest start in the history of NASCAR. There might have been worse, I shouldn't say though. It's the ugliest one I've seen. Lapsevich out in front. Dexter Stacey taking his turn in second.
Wow.
Who ran the wall?
Hebert slammed it hard on the backstretch.
Have a look at the right side of that car. Yeah, the right rear is a little bit white.
Got to see that from the drone, and he's headed to the pit area. That was a hard lick there for Hebert as Dexter Stacey puts himself in the second spot.
Trevor Monahan getting racy with Andrew Ranger. White flag, one more lap to go. Lapsevich out in front. They're side by side for second. Dexter Stacey in the 92 up high. Thomas Neveu in the 24 down low.
Neveu rolls it along the bottom through 1 and 2 as they come door to door off the second corner. It's going to be Stacey edging ahead into 3, but final time through the corners, it's going to be Lapsevich as your winner.
Trayton Lapsevich going to take the win. Who's it going to be for second? Thomas Neveu asserts himself off of 4. It'll be Dexter Stacey over Andrew Ranger, J.P. Bergeron. Trevor Monahan, after all that excitement, there was 8 cars in that race. Trevor Monahan passed 12 of them and then finished 6th.
Watch the restart here. And Ranger, is this where he got some damage on the right rear quarter panel there.
And it screwed Neveu as well.
Yeah. And there's, bang, the hard shot by Hebert on the backstretch wall that sent him to the pit area.
Hopefully that crew will be able to make repairs as Trayton Lapsevich in the 20 machine comes home victorious.
I almost feel like we should have called that one the Hooligans race. Like, that was entertaining. It really was. They were all going for it.
They're showmen. Race car drivers are showmen, there's no doubt about it. Heat race number 3 is going to line up like this. On the pole out of St. Thomas, the super clean Castrol Edge Spark Powered Dodge number 17, DJ Kennington. Number 36 is from Hagersville, the Transaxle Transport Sales and Service Dodge. That's Brewster Baker, Dave Bailey. Driving the number 9 from Stainer, the Leland GMS RGC Sheer Metal Products Chevrolet, Brandon Watson. Number 74 from St. Eustache, Quebec, the Gates Hydraulics Napa Auto Parts Dodge of Kevin Lacroix. Defending series champion from St. Leonard d'Aston, Quebec, the GM Paillet Chevrolet Canada number 96, Marc-Antoine Camarand. From Ganawagi, Quebec, the Bullies Truck Stop number 66, it's Wallace Stacy. Your final row on the inside out of Trois-Rivières, Quebec, the WeatherTech Omnifab Dodge number 47 of L.P. Dumoulin. To his outside in the 98 out of Picton, the Curb Record Strodes SSP Truckline Chevrolet number 98, Malcolm Strawn. That's your lineup for our final NASCAR Pinty Series heat of the night. Dave Bailey and DJ Kennington going to bring this field to green.
Off they go again. Here we go, the third and final qualifier. And to the outside, DJ Kennington, Kevin Lacroix now for the second spot. You got Dave Bailey on the bottom.
Bailey makes his way up to the outside. It looks like that's what he was fighting to do, to get up to the high side. Marc-Antoine Camarand down low, pitches that 96 sideways, scrubs off a lot of speed. He's got Wallace Stacy right behind him.
There's a driver out here in this field that's used to a racetrack like this. Dry, slick, and trying to hold it from going sideways. It's that driver, the 36, Dave Bailey, multi-time champion here at the Speedway in the Thunderstocks, holding down the third spot right now.
More than 100 feature victories for the driver, the 36, on area dirt tracks. He gets a good run on Kevin Lacroix. Can he get to the inside of that 74? He draws up behind him, but couldn't get the power down to drive underneath. He has to tuck back in line. He'll try again in 3 and 4. Here goes Bailey again with Brandon Watson right behind him.
Yeah, Watson's been right on that back bumper of the 36 machine as they go into corner one another time. Brandon Watson had some issues during the practice session, but I think that was more of he was trying to find his limits. And you remember last year he struggled in practice, but was very racy come feature time.
You know that old saying, know your limits, stay within it. Doesn't apply to dirt racing.
No.
I guess it's not that old a saying, but you know the saying.
Here comes Watson looking for that third spot on down the back stretch. Bailey edges ahead just a little bit. Watson tucks back in line on that high side. Meanwhile, it's all DJ Kennington out in front at the cross flags.
Watch the front wheels of Dave Bailey as he works a lap here at Ohsweken. Pitches the car in, turns the wheels hard to the right. Now he's straight, getting good drive off the corner. Last time in 3 and 4, he had a lot of left turn into that car. You're not seeing it yet. There you see them crank to the left. He rolls into the throttle as the car trying to keep it straight. You want the wheels straight, you want to be on the throttle with the car pointed the right direction. To do that requires steering wheel, brakes, and throttle, and it's kind of a dance of all three.
Here he is, closing ground now on Kevin Lacroix down the back stretch. He's right there on the back bumper of the 74. As they work it off of corner 4 another time. This time will be 7 laps on the board, 3 to go.
And you can see he doesn't want to commit to the bottom of the track. So he's looking to make a move, but he doesn't want to sacrifice that line up top because he knows Brandon Watson is right behind him. Bailey draws closer to the 74 of Lacroix. Let's see if he tries to drive it down the banking. Not yet. He's got those wheels cranked hard to the left through 3 and 4.
Here comes Watson down to the inside of that Leland number 9. They're door to door at the flag stand with 2 laps left to go. Lacroix right in front of these two, and your leader, DJ Kennington.
Brandon Watson just stepped into the unknown as he drove that far to the bottom of the racetrack. Nobody had really done that in this qualifying heat. Let's see, with 1 lap to go, can Dave Bailey catch the 74 of Kevin Lacroix, or is Brandon Watson going to sneak up and steal the 3rd spot from Bailey?
Kennington has seen the white flag. He'll head down the backstretch for the final time. And it's Lacroix holding down 2nd, but Bailey is right there, and Watson on his back bumper.
Here goes Bailey to the inside. Can he do it? No, he can't. That car develops a wicked push. Kennington for the win. Lacroix 2nd, Bailey 3rd, Brandon Watson 4th. 5th will be Cameron 6th. Nice job by Malcolm Strong, and it's LP Dumoulin and Wallace Stacy. I just find it really entertaining, Greg. I mean, you can tell the speed we're about to see in the sprint cars is a lot different than what we saw in these stock cars. These sprint cars are designed to go fast on a dirt surface. Those stock cars are not. But you can see those drivers are driving them for all they're worth.
That was the common theme. We were over on the FRESHSTONE racing stage there earlier on this afternoon in the pit area and talking to a number of the drivers, and they all, you mentioned it, they almost sound apologetic that these cars seem like they're going slow, but the speed is all relative, like you said, and we're seeing them work hard, and it almost sounds like this is the hardest working race on the schedule that they have.
Well, they're out of their comfort zone. They're out of what they know. These drivers are elite. You take this bunch of drivers to a road course, and we saw it with NASCAR with Van Ginsbergen. If I said that right, I'm not sure. He's an elite level road course racer. He came in and had that success. There's 8 drivers in our series who I feel could have similar success. There's nobody on the planet that's better on a road course than Andrew Ranger, Kevin Lacroix, or LP Dumoulin. Like, these are in a stock car.
Yep.
Put them up against anybody, and they can get it done.
So Action Sprinter ready to come out for their feature event, 25 laps the distance. And this is the first part of the Sitting Bull Tires Sprint Shootout. Want to thank Sitting Bull Tires for all that they've done to bring us these 2 big races here tonight and again tomorrow night for both divisions, and adding that extra cash on the line for these drivers to compete for. And 24 cars make up tonight's A main event. We've already sent a bunch of them home through the B main, so it's been tough sledding just to get to this point for drivers 17 through 24 in the standings.
And it's been narrowed down to those top 24 drivers. And we're going to do it again tomorrow night, and I can promise you it'll be a different 24 drivers. $5,000 on the line, race fans. Here is how they're going to line up. On the pole from Smithville, the 71C is John Cadman. Second from Bowmanville, the 31 is Dale Curran. Second row on the inside from St. Catharines, the 71 is Mike Bowman. Starting 4th from St. Thomas, the 52 is Jesse Costa. 5th from Rockwood, the 74 is Rob Neely, and to his outside, he's doing double duty tonight. From Grimsby, the 20L is Trayton Lapsevich. 7th from Thamesford, the 14 is Larry Gledhill. Starting 8th, as long as he made repairs, from Wainfleet, the BS39 is Brett Stratford. Starting 9th, great job in qualifying for this driver out of Oswego. The MK8 is Matt Hill. 10th from Dorchester, the 00 is Greg Smulders. 11th from Rockwood, the 94 is Ryan Fraser. 12th from Listowel, the 97 is Sheldon Bender. 13th from Brockville, the R52 is Matt Billings. Starting 14th, it's the highlight man, Mac DeMann out of Mississauga, driving the 4. 15th from Kitchener, the 50 LS is Adrian Staley. 16th out of Stony Creek, the 24A is AJ Lewis. 17th on back, these were drivers we saw in the B main. Starting 17th from Six Nations, it's the Iceman, Johnny Miller, behind the wheel of the number 20. 18th in the 2M from Georgetown, it's Steve Murdoch. 19th from St. Catharines, the 2S is Al Slate. 20th from Port Perry, the 4B, it's 4-barrel Daryl Peltier. 21st from Ushwegan, the 9C is Brian Netticoke. 22nd from Brantford, the 88 is Lance Erskine. 23rd from Cherry Valley, the 9 is Adam Turner, and rounding out the field from Pierreville, Quebec, the 19 is Matthew Bardier. That is your starting lineup for the Action Sprint Tour, part of the Sitting Bull Shootout. Going to be featured on TSN. Clinton Jeffrey, this is a good-looking field of cars.
Yeah, amazing. Got to send a shout-out to Ryan Burnham and everybody at Sitting Bull Shootout. For this Sitting Bull Shootout, I should say it's Sitting Bull Tire. He came to me before the race, said we need to throw some more money at these sprint car guys. How about another $10,000 tonight? So these guys are going to race for $5,000 to win, and the 360s will go for $10 grand to win, courtesy of Ryan Burnham and his staff at Sitting Bull Tire.
Hey, there's our friends from WeatherTech down in front. Welcome to the racetrack. 5K back in Toronto in July. I've got to do that next year. I signed up, Greg. I couldn't do it. I was on the injured list. Plus, I had to get here to call the show here tonight. WeatherTech's a fantastic partner. They love LP. LP Dumoulin could be a Tiddlywinks player, and they would still sponsor him because they love what he does.
I'm a customer. They're floor mats that are made specifically for your vehicle. If you're a dirt track fan, they are a must. You have to have them.
That reminds me, we need to talk to them because they need to be more involved in dirt track racing.
They do.
We know where to find them.
Trayton Lapsevich getting pushed off.
One to go with the line, Trayton Lapsevich. Starting up there in the third row in that 20L. Beautiful work by Creative Edge Signs and Graphics on that 20 machine.
Brett Stratford in Tanner Podwinski's machine. You see the duct tape BS39 on the side of the 72. He had that problem in hot laps, broke the rear end, so he is in Tanner Podwinski's car here for this feature.
For those of you curious, when you race dirt, the driver is the one who qualifies. So if you have to run someone else's car, you get to run someone else's car. The driver gets the qualified spot. Green flag is out, 25 laps the distance.
Off they go through 1 and 2 the first time, and it is a gaggle of traffic, and Matt Hill looked like he had some problems. He'll gather it back up, but they're 3 wide down the backstretch in spots.
Out in front is John Cadman in the 71, ahead of Mike Bowman in another 71 with Dale Kerr in third. The battle for fourth is between Rod Neely in the 74 and the 52 of Jesse Costa.
Cadman out in front. He's been impressive. Started last year in this crate sprint car division. Took his lumps. He took a hard crash last year at the end of the year in the crate nationals, but has been on the podium, and now he sees Mike Bowman go by, and who better to follow and learn in this sprint car than Mike Bowman?
You're not wrong, but Mike Bowman out in front has shown us one thing in his history of running great sprint cars. He rarely gives up the lead once he gets it. He's out front. He loves these slick racetracks. Look at the pack deep in the field. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Oh, Brett Stratford's wing has collapsed right in front of the driver. There is no way he can see where he's going.
Wow, from bad to worse for Brett Stratford. Borrows the ride from Tanner Podwinski, and now he'll take the cautious drive into the pit area. We stay green, and here comes the battle for the second spot. In fact, it looks like it's over as Jesse Costa. Pardon me, for the fourth spot as Jesse Costa gets by that 31 of Dale Curran.
Costa makes that pass. Sheldon Bender gets around the 31 as well, but at the front, Mike Bowman already working through lap traffic. The wing pitched up on that 71, and I almost think we got to start calling him the Featherfoot. You put him on a slick track and Featherfoot will work his way through the field.
Well, I thought the Slickster, but then wrestling got into my mind.
The Doctor of Style. Whoa, nearly contact between Bowman and Adrian Staley in the 50 LS. Bowman sticks that car on the inside. Oh, trouble in turn number 1.
Matt Hill's had a handful since the drop of the green flag. Boy, nice job keeping that going. And off he goes again down the backstretch.
That was an impressive, it's not a 360 when you undo half of it.
But he keeps it green, so he gets a thumbs up.
8 laps complete. Mike Bowman continuing to put cars a lap down. He gets by Adam Turner in that 9, and just ahead of him now is Trayton Lapsevich. He'll put Al Slade a lap down and work on Lapsevich and Matthew Bardier.
You know, Mike Bowman's in both features tonight. I think Sitting Bull Tire might have a check to write out for both events with the same name on it, as Mike Bowman's been good in the 360s this year as well. He's got a couple of wins, and here he is slicing through this field.
Unbelievable what he can do on a slick racetrack, whether it's a dirt modified, whether it's a sprint car. Mike Bowman knows just what to do. He'll put Greg Smulders a lap down in that 00. Let's look around back through the field. John Cadman continues to run second in that 71. Where is Jesse Costa? He's got a number of cars between himself and Costa. My goodness, Rob Neely has actually moved up to that 3rd spot. He gets around Costa as they work into turn 1.
Yeah, got to give credit to John Cadman. I mean, he's not that far off the leader. He can see him on the straightaway, and for someone that's got less than a full year of racing under his belt in the crates at least, he's doing a fantastic job, and now he has gotten by Smulders, 1-lap car between he and leader Mike Bowman.
Bowman to the outside now is Steve Murdoch in that 2M as we reach the halfway point. 13 laps down, 12 laps to go. Now Bowman to the outside of Ryan Fraser. He is just flying out there.
3rd spot still being held by Rob Neely as he begins to pull away from Jesse Costa, who's fading just a little bit. Sheldon Bender with a really good top 5 run right now in the 97. And this is a track that maybe a year ago for Sheldon Bender would have been pretty tough to drive. It shows the prowess and how good he's gotten.
Mike Bowman just put the 10th place car a lap down. Larry Gledhill running 10th, AJ Lewis running 9th, and now Lewis is under attack from Bowman. Bowman will look to the inside. There's a number of drivers who would love to see a yellow flag as Sheldon Bender now pressuring Jesse Costa for that 5th spot. 4th spot.
2nd place, John Cadman. There he is, middle of the screen. He is mired in heavy lap traffic. Bowman got by all these cars, and Cadman has not been able to. He's got Murdoch right in front, who's no slouch. We're used to seeing him running in 3rd, and right now, lap down.
There's a lot of drivers a lap down that we're used to seeing run up at the front. Is Mike Bowman about to put Dale Curran a lap down? There's a driver we've seen in victory lane. Now he's got some open racetrack, and just up ahead, a driver I thought would do very well on the slick, and he is doing pretty well. He's running in the 7th spot. It's Matt Billings.
Leader goes down through 1 and 2 another time, coming up on some faster cars and good quality cars as he's diced his way into the top 10 here. John Cadman, good distance back. Once Mike cleared that one big pack of cars, that was it. That sealed the deal for John Cadman. He's going to need a caution to be able to catch the other 71 car now.
Look at this battle. McDeman in the 4, the 52 of Jesse Costa, the 52 of Matt Billings, and then right behind them is Mike Bowman looking to put them a lap down. So a lot of drivers driving for position here as Billings squeezes to the inside of Costa and Adam Turner with Mike Bowman to the outside. He's going to run out of options here.
He's already running up on the 5th place runner, trying to put the field a lap down. He's not going to have enough laps to do that, but boy, oh boy, what a torrid pace set by Mike Bowman.
Bowman in the middle of the track. Billings down to the bottom. There's 4 laps to go. McDeman runs in the 5th spot.
And here comes the leader. Down to the inside of the highlight man, McDeman. Sheldon Bender running in 4th. He's right alongside McDeman. Leader thick in this traffic. It's going to get a little hairy down here in the corner. They've got to get around cars slower on the bottom. Matt Hill on the outside. 2 laps left to go this time by for the leader.
Bowman to the inside of McDeman, who runs in that 4th spot. Gets around Bardier with 2 laps to go. It'll be white flag out of turn number 4 for Mike Bowman, and he is cleared. He has more than half the field between himself and 2nd place John Cadman.
My goodness, white flag is out. This is what they call an old-fashioned spanking by Mike Bowman as he heads down the backstretch the final time through 3 and 4.
$5,000 on the line from Sitting Bull Tire. It's going to go to Mike Bowman, who takes the win. John Cadman in second is just going into turn number 3. Cadman is going to come home second. Best run in a long time if Rob Neely can hang on to third. Did he come?
Oh, no, he's still coming. Here he is off of corner number 4.
Wow. 3 cars finished on the lead lap. Mike Bowman, John Cadman, and Rob Neely as we finally have a skirmish on the racetrack. It's A.J. Lewis and Dale Curran down there in turn number 2.
Nose damage there, at least to the front wing for Dale Curran. Boy, oh boy, Mike Bowman puts an old-fashioned beating down on the field there. And John Cadman, second place, another podium finish for him.
I think that'll be a pretty happy John Cadman. I figure it'll probably be a happy Rob Neely as well.
That radio shuttle number 74. Great third place finish here tonight as Lone Wolf Fireworks lights things up. Down in Quick Wick Victory Lane, Lone Wolf Fireworks, the official fireworks provider of Ohsweken Speedway. Gets it done again. Cadman second, Neely in the third spot. We see Bowman unbuckling down there in Quick Wick Firestarter Victory Lane. Let's set it down to Clinton Jeffrey.
Thanks a lot, guys. Mike Bowman works his way out of here. Out of this 71 car, he has been so good this year in both the 360 and the crates. Mike is dabbling in the 360s, and what a dabble it's been. He's shown he can get it done. Give us a second, we'll get in a word with Mike when he comes around the front.
Here he goes up onto the wing to celebrate with the checkered flag in hand. He laid one on them tonight, Clint.
Well, Mike, first time we get the sprint cars on TSN and you go out and do it. What a great drive here tonight. This car has been absolutely flawless throughout this season. Talk about your run tonight. It was a quick one, and the track really came into play tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're trying to beat some weather later, so green to checker is probably good for the show. The track's obviously really good for what I like to run on. Got to thank my guys, man. Double duty is a lot of work, and I'm really appreciative I could pull this off for them. I'd like to thank everybody, for running me clean there, coming through, and I'm pumped. My cousin John's second. It's his best career finish in a sprint car, and 271s on the podium again is pretty awesome.
Hey, the family's got to be real happy, Mike. How about this big check that these guys have thrown out? Ryan Burnham and the folks at Sitting Bull Tire throw $5,000 at the win tonight. Congrats, and you're going for another 10 coming up in the 360s.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate all the extra money. It costs a lot to do this, and certainly appreciate that from Sitting Bull Tire. And looking forward to this 360 race.
Mike Bowman gets it done in the crates, guys. We'll watch for him later on this evening.
As he said, double duty. It doesn't sound like that much. But for the driver, it's not. But it's the crew having to make sure everything is right. That car now has to go back through technical inspection. They've got to make sure that it makes the minimum weight, make sure everything is good. Here's one driver who's probably as happy as the winner, Clinton's, with John Cadman.
Not too often we see Big John smile, but John, what a drive here tonight. The track was rough to start the year, and you called me and said, is it ever going to get better? Well, yeah, it got better. It's pool table smooth. You're running good, qualified good. What a great night for your team, John.
Awesome night for us. Wow, I don't even know what to say. Again, a little lost for words with this podium again so soon in the year. I made a couple mistakes in lap traffic, and Mike got away from me. We were kind of hanging in there. I knew he was probably going to get by me, and I just wanted to get in behind and learn some things because, he's the man right now. So finishing second to him tonight is there's nothing to shake a stick at. So, great night, great qualifying. I just got to thank my guys. Everybody worked so hard. We got wrecked here 2 weeks ago. Should have had a top 3 car that night and got taken out before we took the green. So great rebound. Got to thank all the people that helped me. Global Warranty, Pro Battery Shops, Bristol Motors RV, Global, and of course everybody else that helps. Awesome, and thanks for coming out tonight. You guys are awesome. The fans, Pinty's, Strickland's, everybody that supports this deal.
Well, there you have it. John Cadman, great second place finisher for the rookie. Rob Neely in third here. Rob, great run for you. I know you got a lot of your buddies here in the house tonight, so really want to go back and show them that you made the jump to sprint cars and it's paying off. Solid run tonight, Rob. Talk about your night for us.
Yeah, the car was good. I got to thank the crew. Dave, he's been with me for a couple of years now. It's great. Radio show, they're here from Sweden watching tonight. It's great. The track was super slick. We had a good setup. Just didn't have enough of these guys, but it's been a long time since it's been on a podium, and it's not going to be a last.
Right on. There you have it, guys. Your top three, Rob Neely, John Cadman, and Mike Bowman get it done in the first version of the Sitting Bull Shootout for the Crate Sprints. What a drive.
It was a great show indeed. Lots of fun to watch a master at his craft work through lap traffic. Let's take a quick break on G-Force TV. When we come back, it is time to go 360 sprint car racing here at the Big O.
When your dream car becomes a nightmare, leaving you frustrated, stranded, and broke, you say,
Goodbye, you piece of Let's take it to TKC.
What? You gotta pee?
TKC!
Let's take this piece of to TKC Metal Recycling. They pay cash for scrap cars.
TKC will recycle your piece of car. Got a piece of car? Visit TKC Metal Recycling, 20 Cushman Road, St. Catharines.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. G-Force TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, G-Force TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at gforcetv.net and start watching today. Weekend Speedway Racing on G-Force TV is brought to you by Mighty White, the strongest wipe around, and by NTN, delivering the ultimate bearing experience.
Welcome back to Weekend Speedway as Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet presents Weekend Speedway Live. Action for the 360 sprint cars up next. Sitting Bull Tire Shootout for these 360 sprints. And here's your starting lineup for tonight's 25-lap main event. Rolling off from the pole out of Thamesford, car number 7. That'll be Eric Gledhill to his outside. The 2022 champ here at the Big O from Tillsonburg, the 17X, it's Corey Turner. Starting in third from Cheektowaga, New York in the 94, it's Todd Hoddick. And starting in fourth from Brantford, car number 10, downtown, Mitch Brown. Starting in fifth from Dorchester, car number 1, that's Holly Porter. And alongside her in the 6th spot, Sean Evans out of Scotland in the 87X. Starting in the 7th spot, that's where we find Tricky Nicky. Nick Sheridan out of Mount Bridges in the 45. And his outside with a quick turnaround. Starting in the 8th spot from St. Catharines in car 71, it's Mike Bowman. Starting in 9th, the current point leader here at the Big O from Dunnville in car number 15, it's Ryan Turner. And alongside him in the 10th starting spot from Fenwick in the 77J, the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. Rolling off 11th out of Sprakers, New York in car number 52, it's Stuart Friesen. And starting in the 12th position in the 12 DD from Freelton, it's Darren Dryden. Starting 13th out of Niagara Falls in the 70, it's Bailey Hurd. And 14th spot from Beamsville, the 88H, that is Josh Hansen. Starting 15th from Tonawanda, New York, the 7NY is Matt Farnham. Alongside him, going off 16th, DJ Christie from Beachville in car 5. 17th starting spot from Scotland, the 47X, it's D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. And his outside from Oshweek car 0, the Oshweek Flyer, Glenn Stiers. Going 19th out of Binbrook, car number 9, the Live Wire, Liam Martin. And going 20th out of Brantford, the 49L, Lucas Smith. Starting 21st out of Brewerton, New York, the 10C, it's Polly Colagiovanni. And going from the 22nd spot, Travis Cunningham from Grimsby in the 90. And in the final row, starting 23rd out of Hamilton, the 19D, it's Alan Downey. And going 24th out of St. Catharines, the 46, that is Kevin Pauls. 24 cars, 25 laps the distance, ready to go for the 360 sprint cars. What a story tonight for Bailey Hurd. He'll get in tonight on time. He's got a brand new car there, brand new chassis for the 70. Steve Lyons of Creative Edge says, you know what, I love what GSR is doing. We want to support their program, and I want to sponsor someone on top of that. He got a brand new GSR chassis for Bailey Hurd, and over the weekend they spent time taking all the parts off the car that they raced Friday night and putting it all onto this brand new GSR chassis for Bailey Hurd. That's a lower budgeted team. They have probably the smallest garage in all of the 360 land, and yet he's out there with a new sponsorship from Creative Edge, and that was great by Steve to do that for one of our, most likable drivers.
One of our most likable drivers, one of the best heads of hair in short track racing.
Yep.
Now, Steve Lyons, we should find a classic picture of Steve Lyons. You want to talk about impressive heads of hair. There was a time, but no, very generous move. We have got such an impressive roster of 360 sprint car racers, and we've had this conversation before, Greg. For a long time, we would run specials up here, and we would have had more drivers up here tonight with a better weather forecast from New York. But we also would have had more drivers if it was like the old days where they could come up and take our money. They would come up and wax the floor with our drivers. There was a few who could contend with them, but the outsiders were fairly dominant. Nobody comes in here and steals our money anymore.
No, it's so hard for someone that doesn't run here weekly to come in and get the big paydays. Now, Paulie Colagiovanni had some good fortune with that last year, but it was no walk through the park for him. He had to work for his big payday, and some of the big paydays last year went to those home track regulars. And, of course, it all started off in 2019 when Scott Kruder won the Nationals, and he was the first home track regular to get that top prize.
Absolutely true. Is tonight a night when Corey Turner, our defending track champion, is starting second? He has not had the season that I'm sure he would have liked. Is tonight the night that he gets it done? He's got a great starting spot in that Lone Wolf Fireworks 17X, but there are some hot shoes all through this starting grid. 25 laps the distance, $10,000 on the line.
Strickland Pace truck ready to take them off down the backstretch. It will peel off, and Eric Gledhill and Corey Turner will bring us to the green flag. The Sitting Bull Tire 360 Sprint Car Shootout comes to the green off of corner 4. Off they go through 1 and 2 the very first time. Corey Turner jumps out to a big advantage over Eric Gledhill. Mitch Brown to the outside, working on the outside of the 7 of Gledhill's. They go down 3 and 4. Mitch Brown in that second spot. We got one way off high there. I believe that's Glenn Stiers in the 0.
Stiers gets it back onto the racetrack. He'll work down the front stretch, come across the nose of Kevin Pauls in the 46. Corey Turner by half a straightaway. The race is on for second. Mitch Brown in the 10. Here comes Sean Evans in the 87.
You have to wonder right now for Mike Bowman, do those last 25 laps tire you out, or does it already have your adrenaline going and you're already in a rhythm? He's marching towards the front, already to the second spot.
I've got to think if his adrenaline is pumping, that's a bad thing. He's got to calm himself down, get turning some laps, because that burst of energy will fade. You don't want that. You want to be steady Eddie out on the racetrack as we look at them going to town deeper in the field. Stuart Friesen starting to make some moves.
Yeah, he started in 11th. He saw an opening there. It closed a bit, but he is working his way into the top 10 as he works to the outside of Hoddick now, and he'll close in on the leaders.
Stuart Friesen up into that top 5 in the 52. Mike Bowman closing in on Corey Turner in the 17. Before too long, we might have a battle for the lead, but lap traffic will play a role.
Yeah, the leaders catching the back part of the field very quickly here with 5 laps already on the board, 20 to go. Mike Bowman closing the distance on the lead, held down by Corey Turner. Big gap back to third and Sean Evans, and here comes the rocket ship. Stuart Friesen's up to the 4th spot.
Friesen made a bold move down into turn number 3. They're side by side for the lead. Mike Bowman just swept to the outside of Corey Turner, drove on by. Turner going to fight back in 3 and 4.
Off of corner 4, they work it. This time by it's Bowman, your leader, with 18 laps still left to go and heavy traffic in front of that 71 machine as Travis Cunningham pulls to the infield with a left front gone down. They have smacked the wall. And now the leader already catching Josh Hansen. This is a driver that has a feature win this year.
It's not a Josh Hansen kind of racetrack. There's a lot of finesse involved with that. Hansen has the biggest set of any driver out here. On a heavy track, he is the man. He's got to learn his way on these slick tracks, and this is the only way to do it, Greg.
Friesen now dive bombs on Sean Evans. He'll scoot by him and try and close the gap on Corey Turner. Still plenty of laps for Stuart Friesen, but the way that Mike Bowman's setting this torrid pace, it's going to be a lot of work for the 52 to catch the top spot.
Certainly will be. A yellow flag would help him, but as we saw in that crate sprint, they are perfectly capable of going through a 25-lap race without drawing a yellow flag. Bowman heavy in it at the moment.
Bowman comes up along behind Bailey Hurd in the 70 as he works into some very thick traffic that's going to have Jim Hoopin and Glenn Stiers as well. And it's going to have to be right now for second and third, this traffic that allows them to catch it. Got to say, though, Corey Turner's doing a nice job. Best run he's had this year. He's right now 5th in the points. He's very solid and steady all year, but hasn't contended for wins. So this has got to be a feel-good race for him.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Turner out there turning a pretty wheel, running good laps. He's got Stuart Friesen breathing down his neck. Friesen going to close it on the back straightaway. It's 10 car lengths. Now it's 5 car lengths. Friesen is just killing them going into the corners.
Halfway home in this one. 13 down, 12 to go. Friesen can't get by Turner. Meanwhile, the leader working to the inside of Paulie Colagiovanni. Not what you would expect coming into tonight, that's for sure.
No, Colagiovanni going a lap down. That is not something you say out loud very often. As Bowman just about blew it off the end of the track.
Here he goes into corner number 3 with some very, very good race cars right in front of him. So for Turner and Friesen, this is their opportunity. This is the thick of the field that's going to give Bowman the hardest time. And right now, Turner and Friesen are having a battle of their own as Friesen goes down low. Turner on the outside, they've got Pauls right in the middle.
Kevin Pauls has no idea what's going on behind him as they race down the back straightaway. Corey Turner committing to the high side. Stuart Friesen to keep it to the inside against the wall. Come off the corner, they maintain that side-by-side battle.
Turner having a great run as he is tucked in behind Pauls. And how about Kevin Pauls? I mean, he's running at pace with the second and third place car, and he hasn't been in the way at all.
He already won tonight just by getting in the show, but he's turning some pretty laps. Stuart Friesen makes the pass, just about makes contact with Kevin Pauls, who squeezes to the outside. They are a full straightaway behind race leader Mike Bowman as there's 7 laps to go.
Mike Bowman, so smooth and steady. Here he is working behind DJ Christie down into corner number 1. He's got Christie, he's got Porter, he's got the pole sitter right in front of him already with 18 laps on the board, 7 to go.
Watching Friesen squeeze past some of the slower traffic. 5-6 laps now. It's not a lot of time for him to get where he wants to be going. Mike Bowman is behind some pretty sporty race cars. Ollie Porter, DJ Christie, Eric Gledhill having a great battle for position just ahead of our race leader.
Could be that Friesen's going to run out of time. At this point, you think he'd need a yellow. And the way these tracks, though, when they're like this, it doesn't play to a lot of caution flags either. So that is not going to work in Friesen's favor right now as Bowman comes off the corner. This time, idly 4 to go.
Works his way down to turn 1. DJ Christie directly in front of him. Mitch Brown, Eric Gledhill just behind him, but Gledhill actually got a run on a race leader there. Looked like he might stick his nose to the outside.
Off the corner another time. 3 to go for Mike Bowman. Friesen running in that second spot. He's closing ground, but not enough and not quick enough, as already Bowman's caught Mitch Brown in the 10. Still trying to work on DJ Christie. This time, 2 laps left to go.
Great battle for the 4th spot between Dylan Westbrook in the 47X and Matt Farnham in the 7NY. They're just coming off of turn number 4, nose to tail. Westbrook got around him. He's looking to put a gap back to the 7NY.
What a drive, too, by Dylan Westbrook. Started in the 17th spot as the leader sees the white flag. 17th starting position for Dylan Westbrook, up to 4th.
Final time down the back straightaway. Could Mike Bowman be walking out of here with $15,000 in cash?
Double checkers out, and Mike Bowman back-to-back gets it done here. The 360s and the Action Sprint Tour. Stuart Friesen in 2nd, 3rd at the line, Corey Turner, 4th, Dylan Westbrook, and crossing the line in 5th, Matt Farnham in the 7NY.
So it looks like our podium is only going to have 2 drivers on it. Stuart Friesen heading back to get ready to climb into his NASCAR Pinty Series car. So is Glenn Stiers in the 0. They quickly exited the racetrack, but down in victory lane, the celebration will be on for Mike Bowman, and I believe we're going to see a pretty happy Corey Turner as well.
Much needed podium finish here for Corey Turner. Not to say that Corey's had a bad season. He's had a quiet season. He's up in the top 5 in points. He's been very steady, kept the car clean. He's been strong, but not up there on a podium position, and tonight a good one for the Lone Wolf Fireworks Mobile 1, car number 17X, as we see the Dynablast Ryko 71 in victory lane. That was short work for a lot of money there, Clint, down in Quick victory lane. Sitting Bull Tires can just write one check to one guy.
What an impressive night it's been for Mike Bowman as he will work it out. Sweeps both sprint car features tonight and picks up $15,000 here tonight. We'll talk to him in just a moment. We are about 15 minutes away from our NASCAR Pinty Series event. Get him out.
Mike Bowman earned $300 a lap tonight. Corey Turner takes the Lone Wolf Fireworks number 17X down to victory lane as the Lone Wolf Fireworks light up our sky. David Swain will be happy. The Mobile 1 17X pulls into the podium.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Bowman climbs out into victory lane here at Oshweekend to a $10,000 feature win tonight, courtesy of the folks at Sinton Bull Tire. Mike, let's talk about it. You were a modified driver for a long time. Didn't know if you wanted to really get into sprints. Now you jumped over. I don't think you're looking back. What a night you've had here at Oshweekend tonight.
Yeah, man. You know, this slick stuff really fires into my wheelhouse. running on small block, big block modifieds on this so much, it really teaches you to have a steady foot and to drive a tight race car. And I got to thank my guys again. I know I thanked them the last time, but doing this double duty thing, winning back-to-back races on the same night, it's seriously not even possible without the dedicated group we got here. All my sponsors on the car, GSR Chassis, Glen Stires, Dynablast, TKC Metal, Contemporary Concrete, IRP Max, Douglas Hydraulics, same on Auto and Truck. Man, we got an army, and got to thank all these fans for coming out and supporting dirt racing.
Congrats, Mike. Big night, 10 grand for this race.
Yeah, it's huge. Thanks, Sitting Bull Tire, for supporting this deal. It's pretty awesome. I didn't imagine this. You don't wake up in the morning and just expect to go and take both these races home. So appreciate it. Appreciate you for all you do and everybody here at Ushweekend. I know the guys work like crazy to get that bump fixed in one, and track's beautiful.
There you have it. Mike Bowman picks up $10,000 in the Sitting Bull 360 Shootout tonight.
I wonder if Stuart Friesen didn't realize he finished second. As many passes as he had to make, it's quite possible.
Yep. We got Corey Turner here. Corey, great run for you. Second place here on a big night. Decent payout. Track seemed to come around. Talk about your night for us, Corey.
Yeah, we were pretty good. We've found a few things with our car lately, and it's really made a huge difference. We've got some drive here on the smooth, slick surfaces here last weekend. This is the way we like it, and looking forward to tomorrow or the next day, rain date pending. Either way, I got to thank my wife and my son. They're at home tonight. We'll see them hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday. David and Margaret Swain tonight are here with us from Mobile One. Huge thanks to them, long-standing partners with our team, and I got a ton of people to thank. My whole crew, they busting their asses the whole time. Nate and Ashley and their family for bringing me on board to drive the 17X. John at Lone Wolf Fireworks, and ton of other partners. So I just, I'm really proud of our team. We've really picked it up here as of late, and we're trending upwards at the right time.
There you have it. Corey Turner with a great second run tonight. Second place for Corey Turner. He gets it done.
Now the third place car just rolled out, Clint. Do we have the third place driver as well?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Stuart, come on over here.
Or second place, Stuart Friesen. Not sure if he didn't know he finished second or if he just knew he had to get going to get ready for the PINTY'S Series race, but you can't ask for much more from your visiting driver than to tear through the field like he did tonight.
Welcome back to Canada, Stu. What a drive. You look pretty good in that car. To make the car make the moves it did on this slick track was running pretty good. Tell us about your evening.
Yeah, for sure. Big thanks to the whole GSR team for the opportunity, and it was close. We had a really good car. Just got racing the boss there, lapping, and got held up a little bit. But no, just big thanks. I got Doug Emery up working, Brett Strafford, and Lee Winger, the guys in the shop there, doing a great job. Friends of mine for a long time, and appreciate Glenn having us up here. And it's kind of bitter. Hopefully we can come back tomorrow and show them what's up.
Right on. Stuart Friesen, second place here in the Sitting Bull Shootout, guys, making a rare appearance back in the sprint cars.
I love how much Stuart Friesen dislikes finishing second.
I know. That shows you right there. He said it all, and a little bit bitter. He didn't hold any punches, and he's happy for Mike Bowman, but he wants to be the one holding the checkered flag. And, boy, for us, we're winners because we got to watch him walk through the field there and get up to that second spot. But great showing tonight for our sprint car division. We got to see some qualifying for the NASCAR Pinty Series here on GeForce TV, and that will conclude our broadcast here. Everything will move over to Flow Racing and the TSN app, so make sure you tune in for the FRESHSTONE Dirt Classic. Coming up next, 100 laps for the NASCAR Pinty Series there. That will conclude our GeForce TV broadcast. On behalf of the Stires family, all our staff and crew, Clinton Jeffrey, Adam Ross, I'm Greg Kellman saying so long here on GeForce TV. Copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of GeForce TV. GeForce TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.